Hey guys, MJ back again, and today I want to talk about 5 small things that we love about Germany. Now, there are a lot of major reasons we love Germany. There's a lot of big things we like about being here in Germany. We made a video about 5 of the reasons that we came to Germany to begin with, and I'll link that video up here and down below. But today I really want to focus on 5 small things that you either see or that happen on a regular basis that just make life here a little more pleasant. So that's what we're going to talk about today. 5 reasons that we love being in Germany that are on the small side of things. So the first one I want to talk about is when you say goodbye in German. So this is something that we encounter on a regular basis, both with our in-person interactions as well as on the telephone when we're making a phone call with somebody in Germany, is the way you say goodbye. Now, there are a lot of different German words for goodbye, but the one you hear the most often when you're leaving somewhere or when you're getting off the telephone is tschüss. Okay? Now, that by itself is okay, tschüss, bye. That's fine. However, what we noticed is that most of the time it's said with a much different tone than you would have expected from the German people who are thought of as being kind of a little bit more uptight or a little bit more reserved. And this happens all the time. Doesn't matter if it's somebody who's older, somebody who's younger, doesn't matter if it's a man, a woman, doesn't matter. What we found that happens often is that the way you say tschüss in German is more of a higher pitched, friendlier tone. So you can be getting off the phone call and it's a nice business phone call and blah, blah, blah. We're coming to your house to fix this thing, such and such a time. Okay, great. Thank you very much. Tschüssi. And it's this, just you raise the pitch of your voice, you add on the little tschüssi, and it's such a friendly, nice way to say it. And when we first started hearing it, it was like, what? It was surprising, but it was so pleasant. It was like tschüssi, and then over and over again we hear it in the same kind of way. It's again that you raise your voice a little bit and you put a smile on this time, and tschüssi. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it when my friends say it to me when we're leaving somewhere. When I hang up the phone, it doesn't matter. I'm calling the kids' school. Oh, so-and-so is not coming to school today. They're not feeling well. Okay, I wrote it down. Tschüssi. Love it. Absolutely love it. So that was one of the small things that I absolutely love about Germany. So the second one I want to talk about is Matschhose. Now, Matschhose are mud pants, and these are pants that are specifically designed for children to be worn over your clothes. Now, in the States, we have snow pants for the winter and everything like that, and that's fine. But I've not ever seen mud pants designed for the warmer weather for when your kids go out and play, and I've absolutely fallen in love with them. Our youngest is in kindergarten, and she has her Matschhose, and so when she goes to school, she has her Matschhose and her rain boots. When she's inside, takes them off. She's wearing her Hausschuhe, her house shoes, her slippers in the kindergarten. And she's wearing her regular clothes in the kindergarten. But when it's time to go outside and play, all the kids put their Matschhose on, put their jackets on, put their rain boots on. They go out in the playground and they play. And they get dirty and they run around in the dirt. If it's muddy, that's fine. It doesn't matter because they have their mud pants on, their Matschhose on. I've absolutely fallen in love with this. Their clothes stay clean underneath. They can get out there, get dirty. No one's worried about, dirty clothes and stained, ripped clothes because they're protected by these Matschhose. And it's a small thing, but I absolutely love them. And I'm so glad Germany has them. And I have no idea why we don't have them in the States. I can't tell you how many times my kids came home from school, dirty clothes, ripped holes in the pants and things like that. Matschhose would have saved all of that. Probably would have saved us a lot of money in the long term too. So I absolutely love Matschhose. Next up on the list is the German concept of Frische Luft, fresh air. It's very, very common in Germany to air out your apartment on a daily basis, regardless of what the temperature is. So you have great German windows that open multiple ways. They tilt down, they open all the way up, lots of different ways. I should probably do a whole nother video about German windows and why they are so much better than American windows. We'll get to that one day. But for now, the concept of the fresh air and airing out your apartment. When we first got here, I was like, okay, cool, fresh air. And we got here in the summer, so we need to open the windows anyway to get some cool air in. But I've fallen in love with the concept of Frische Luft. And it is amazing just to open your windows and just let that air in, air out the apartment. You feel like you're being refreshed. You feel like, oh, the air is getting cleaned out. And I didn't realize how much I missed that, or I didn't realize how much I needed that until I started doing it like the Germans do. Where every day I'm just opening the window for a little bit, letting that air in, getting the stale air out. And it is great. It's refreshing. It's cleansing. It's wonderful. Now, we'll say this, in the colder temperatures, I believe the Germans still do it. We don't do it as often as they do it when it's cold outside. I don't mind that cold air coming in. Again, it gives me energy. It wakes me up. I feel great. But the wife and kids don't like the cold air quite as much as I do. So we tend to keep the windows closed a little more often in the winter than maybe the Germans would. However, I still like cracking that window open, getting that fresh air in, getting the old air out, and just going about your day. It is great. It is such a cool concept that is simple, but really, really wonderful. And another small thing I love about being here in Germany. Now, the next one on the list, at first, I wasn't so sure if I liked it or not. And this was the greeting everybody in a waiting room. So let me give you an example. If I go to a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment, I check in at the desk and I'm sitting down in the waiting room. Somebody else comes in and I notice that they greeted me, Guten Tag, or Hallo, or Guten Morgen, depending on what time of day it was or how polite they were being, things like that. And I was like, looking around like, me? We don't know each other. Why are you talking to me? And then I learned and I realized after time, being at different appointments for the kids or for, for myself, whatever it was, that it's just common. It's a normal thing here that when you walk into a waiting room, if there's people already there, you greet them. You say Guten Tag, you say Hallo, you say Guten Morgen, whatever it is. And it's just a polite way of greeting people and acknowledging that there's other people there when you're coming into the room. And the same thing when they left is that they would check out with the people working at the office and then they would grab their stuff and then they would turn to whoever's still left in the waiting room and they'd say Tschüss or Tschüssi, or Schönen Tag or whatever it was. And they would, again, this polite greeting when they come in, the polite acknowledgement when they leave. And at first it was strange for me. It was like, we don't know each other. We're at an office, we're not meeting together at a restaurant. Like, why are we talking to each other? And in the States, you just kind of sit there with your phone and you look down, you don't talk to anybody. But here, there's always just this acknowledgement of, hey, you're here, I'm here, Guten Tag, Hallo, whatever it was. There's not long conversations, we're not making small talk. I know German small talk is not a big thing anyway, but it's just this cool little greeting out of respect and to be polite. And again, at first I was like, don't talk to me. But now I've gotten used to it and I'm like, okay, this is nice. It's just a nice, polite thing to do when you come to a space that there's already people there. So the greeting coming into offices and waiting rooms, again, another small thing that we love about being here. Next up on the list is the behavior of the dogs. Now, this was a total shock to me to see how well behaved the German dogs are. When we're out and about, when we're walking along the street, you watch people with their dogs, and there's dogs everywhere here in Leipzig. There's so many dogs, little dogs, big dogs, doesn't matter. They're everywhere, and it's awesome. But they're so well behaved. It's so interesting to see that someone could be walking their dog, even without a leash, and the dog is just right with them, staying with them the whole time, not running away, not disobeying, just with them and just walking together. And you can pass right by the dog and they don't even look at you. They don't smell you. They ignore you. And you're like, hey, I'm here too. Say hello to me. But they're not in a German waiting room. They're just dogs and they're trained well here to the point where they're just ignoring everybody. They're listening to their owner and they're just going about their business. And that's it. And it's so cool to see, like, even when there's other dogs around, most of the time they just ignore each other. And that's a strange thing. It's unique to what I've seen here, is that the dogs are often trained to ignore not only people, but to ignore other dogs. I know in the States with dogs, it's really common to socialize your dog, to get your dog to meet other dogs and to play nice with other dogs. But here it seems they train them most of the time to ignore the other dogs. And so there can be multiple dogs walking around off leash and they're ignoring each other and they're not chasing, they're not running around, they're not being crazy. They're just walking with their owner and ignoring everybody else and just going about their day. And it's so nice to see how well behaved they are. And I don't think I could be a dog owner here because I don't think I could train my dog as well as the Germans do. So another thing I love is just, yeah, the dogs are just out there enjoying life and not bothering anybody and listening so well trained. And it's great to see. And in addition to that, the owners tend to clean up really well after their dogs. Not everywhere, not all the time, but it does seem to be, with especially with the amount of dogs that I see around here, there is not a lot of mess from dogs left all over the place. We're not stepping in poop all over the place. There's other European cities we've been in where that kind of is the case, where there's just dog poop left everywhere. I'm not going to name names of certain cities, but you might know them. So I really love that the dogs are well behaved and the owners are well behaved and they do take care of their dogs and they clean up after the dogs as well. So again, another small thing we love about being here. So once again, I have a bonus small thing that I love. This was 5 small things we love about Germany. Well, here's number 6 as a slight bonus. I don't drive very often here. I don't want to drive here. That's why I live in a European city. It's why I came to a city that has great public transportation. But we do drive occasionally. We rent a van to go visit some friends or pick some things up or whatever it is. And so driving around Germany, it's been fun. I enjoy it. I did record a little video on the Autobahn and some etiquette on the Autobahn. But the small thing that I love, the bonus small thing that I love, has to do with driving. When you get to a red light here in Germany, and you're waiting at the red light, normal red light, okay? But before the light turns green, it actually goes from red to yellow to green. It gives you this little heads up like, okay, it's about to turn green. Most of the cars here are manual transmissions, and many of them, when you're in neutral and you let your foot off the clutch, the engine stops. And so that little notification that you get by the light turning yellow before it turns green gives that heads up like, okay, it's about to turn green, step on the clutch, the car starts again, get in the first gear, and you're ready to go. It's that little kind of like that racing heads up that, hey, it's time to get ready to go. And I love it. It's just a small thing that I'm like, okay, this is cool. So when I drive around here, it's like, all right, I'm sitting at the light, I'm relaxing, and then it turns yellow. Oh, got to pay attention now. Let's go. And so that's the bonus small thing that I love about Germany is the way the lights go from red to yellow to green to give you that extra heads up. All right, so that's it for today. Those were 5 plus a bonus small things that we love about Germany. There's so many other things. There's so many big things, and we'll talk about more of them. The markets and the transportation and the type of windows there are. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Germany is amazing. There's so many great countries out there, and we're just happy to be in one that we love. And there's so many things that we love about it. So we'll continue making videos about different things we love. We'll make videos when we're out and about in the city as the weather's getting nicer and as corona restrictions are going down and there's more to do. We'll continue making more videos to show you our city, to show you life here for Americans in Germany. So stay tuned for that. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It makes a huge difference to us as we're growing our channel, as we're trying to share our adventure here in Germany as a family. Go ahead and hit that like button as well if you like this video. Go ahead and drop us a comment below and let us know what you think of this list, what you think of these small things about Germany. Do you like them as well? Do you appreciate them? Have you even noticed them? And let me know if there's other small things that you love about Germany, whether you're a German and there's little things that you just warm your heart about Germany, things that you think of that are like, oh man, this is why I love my country. So let me know if there's anything like that I missed or that you would add to this list as a small thing. If you're not from Germany and you're watching this video, are there any small things that you noticed that we didn't cover here that you're like, oh, this little thing that happens when I'm out in the street, whatever it is, drop a comment below. Let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And if this is the first video of ours that you're watching, go ahead and check out some of our other videos. We have the reasons we moved to Germany up here. So some of the top reasons we moved to Germany. Over here, you can click on some of our top shocks about the schools here. Because again, we're here with 4 kids and the schools are a big part of what we do here. So go check out those videos, check out our channel, let us know what you think, drop a comment anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.